right, good afternoon. Calling the meeting to order by President Edgar Haim at 6 p.m. Roll call of members. Sir Wade, Ms. Hall,
Present.
Ms. Watson, Mr. Ferris, Mr. Edgar Haim,
Present.
Ms. Volinick.
Present.
All right, and we got quorum 4 out of 3. Acceptance of agenda, resolution number 1. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Edgar Haim, second by Ms. Volinick. Resolved that the Board of Education accepts and approves the agenda with any additions or deletions. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 4 ayes, 3 absent. Motion carries. All right, acknowledgements. We have Sean Shackford, instructional coaches.
All right, good evening, Board.
Good evening.
I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge our wonderful instructional coaches at Hamtramck Public Schools. Not all of them are with us, but we're happy to have our instructional coaches. Talked at the last meeting about how all of the work that was done in the instructional department last year in terms of curriculum, alignment, everything that was done, Heather leading us, but a lot of the work, a lot of the grunt work I like to call it, was done by these people behind me. Not only were they getting into classrooms, meeting with teachers and working with teachers, taking them through 6-week cycles, which they all, we all sent them to training in January, the Gen 9 training in Kansas. Getting, trained in how to take our teachers through 6-week cycles, but they also help to really move the district in terms of our curriculum alignment and curriculum adoption. So I just wanted to take a moment to highlight each and every one of them for their hard work this year. So I'm going to start with Jill Burdick, who's on the end. Jill is my math extraordinaire. Whenever I can't figure something out, we joke about how I'm English and she's math, and she can figure it out, and so I always call her. So she's our math extraordinaire. She helped with the math curriculum adoption, which we brought to the board last week with the reveal math. She led us in that process along with Mari, and I'll talk about Mari in a little bit. Also, she's done a lot of work with our math vertical alignment. She's just been very instrumental in helping all of our math teachers in the district. So I want to give kudos to Mari for her hard work. Jill. Mari, they're interchangeable. Because they're both back. Next on the list, Jill Jenkins is not here, but Jill, she led our social studies curriculum adoption and also the vertical alignment work with social studies as well. Also, Jill, along with Mari as well, led our summer school program this year, did a fantastic job with that as well. Next up is Mari. Mari also worked alongside of Jill with our math curriculum adoption, also with our math vertical alignment. She also did led the summer school as well. Again, phenomenal math teacher, math extraordinaire. Michelle Wallace. Michelle joined us in November of last year. And so Michelle is actually leading our training for mental health first aid. She's also involved with our culture and climate committee. And then she was very instrumental in our leadership work for our ELA vertical alignment. And again, Michelle does a great job of getting into the classroom, working with teachers and getting to know the Hamtramck staff. So thank you, Michelle. Natasha Rondo. All right. So Natasha is was very instrumental when I came in. We had just adopted the Wonders curriculum, and she was the point person when I came in, and she's still the point person for our Wonders curriculum. Also with UFly, again, that she provided leadership for our ELA vertical alignment, and also the implementation of Acadian's progress monitoring. So she has been the go-to person for all of those. In addition to working on grants for the district 35M and N. So thank you, Natasha. And then we have Shaylin Kerr. Shaylin, you came to us in December. All right. And so Shaylin has done a great job of coming into the district and working with our science team, with our vertical alignment, and she's also working on, or going to be working on, our Portrait of a Graduate initiative, which I'll talk to you all about in a minute. And she has a very thoughtful approach to working with teachers and working in the district, so I want to give kudos to Shaylin. Stephanie Bogler. Stephanie? All right. So Stephanie also worked with Natasha on the grant work. She did a lot of work with our English vertical alignment, did a lot of work, again, getting into the classroom, working with our teachers. Having been a teacher before, she was very well attuned to what our teachers needed. So Stephanie did a great job of that. And so again, kudos to Stephanie. And Tina Kelly, who is not here today. Tina is leading our teacher induction program this year, and then also she does a lot of work with our newsletter. She did some work again with our science vertical alignment. She was a member of our culture and climate committee, and also our co-teaching committee as well. And Jeremy Hine is not here. Jeremy worked alongside of Jill Jenkins with our social studies curriculum adoption, in addition to social studies vertical alignment. And so he's done a great job. He also led our optional PD week that we had this summer. So he was very instrumental in helping to coordinate that. And then finally, we have our last two, Nan Walter. Nan? Here. All right. So Nan was very instrumental in working with our ELA departments across the district. She did a lot of work with our middle school curriculum adoption. Last year we adopted Common Lit, so she did a lot of work working with them, in addition to working with our high school ELA team and working on our co-teaching committee. She has a very strong background, and she's a strong voice and advocate for our multilingual programs in the district. So thank you, Nan. Kudos to you. And then Shelly is not here. Shelly and Nan kind of worked hand in hand last year. Again, both part of the ELA and science vertical alignment teams, co-teaching, and working with our ELA teams at the high school. So this is the phenomenal, I'm going to roll off all the superlatives for you guys, outstanding instructional coaches, coaching team. And so we're very
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got to stay up there, Sean? I think you're
next up with.
All right, for board calendar updates, our regular meetings will be conducted in October 15, November 19, December 10. Everyone okay? All right. We go to reports to the board, an update.
Right. Go ahead. So, curriculum update, got the year off to a great start. Our curriculum came in, we delivered to all of our buildings, so we were well prepared to go, and we're excited about all of our K-5 curriculum. So we are going to, along with our instructional coaches, make sure that we are supporting our teachers with respect to how we are rolling out and how we are, learning the curriculum and getting professional development for them. So we're very excited about that. The one thing that we wanted to highlight this board meeting is that we are working on the formation of a Portrait of a Graduate committee, and in having conversations around the district, we felt like it was important that that we have something to outline what a Hamtramck graduate will look like after they spent K through 12 in our district. So we are going to put together a committee. Nan and Shaylin are helping me to spearhead this committee. And so this work will bring together a diverse group of stakeholders, including students, families, educators, school leaders, and community members, and board members, to explore and co-create a shared vision for the future of our graduates. Through a series of inclusive conversations, design sessions, and feedback opportunities, the committee will look to ensure that the Portrait of a Graduate reflects the unique values, aspirations, and needs of the Hamtramck community. The Portrait of a Graduate will serve as a guiding compass for instructional decisions, curriculum development, and overall student experiences, ensuring that every learner is equipped not just with academic knowledge, but with personal competencies and social-emotional strengths needed to succeed in a rapidly changing world. So we look forward to this meaningful journey, and I will be reaching out for volunteers from the board to give their input as we create this portrait of a graduate. The hope is that when we start the year next year, we will have that ready to go. That is the curriculum update.
Any questions?
Sean,
Yes.
could you share how the coaches set up the voluntary PD week? How many participants we had, the options? Just expand on that a little bit, because I know they worked on that over the summer. I think we started that last summer. This summer, I've heard it's even better.
Yes.
Hopefully next summer, it's gonna be even better.
Yes. So we have 5 days of multi opportunities for teachers to learn in all of the content areas. And we were fortunate this year that we had far more teacher participants, teachers who are leading the professional development for our staff. I don't have the exact number of staff members that participated, but it was definitely larger than it was last year.
241.
Thank you, sir.
That's
Thank you, sir.
teachers, paras, and we had paid a
Okay.
total sessions of 1,351 over the 5 days.
Thank you, sir. So yes, so and again, the coaches, particularly Jeremy, led that, and all of the coaches participated and provided PD support during that week. So yes, we're very proud of that, and we're looking to grow it next year.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we got Craig Daniels, Recreation Department.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just want to give an update on the Recreation Department from June 1st. Oh,
You might have to push in a little bit. There you go.
June period.
Click the button again.
Yes, hello.
Try it now.
Doesn't seem to
Don't touch anything, just try to speak.
Two on at the same time.
Oh, just
Somebody has to turn their.
Try it now.
turn off.
Hello.
There you
Okay,
go.
there you go.
We'll give an update on recreation program for the summer and what we're going to have going on in the fall. I'm not going to read verbatim every word off the paper, but we every year we have our Movie in the Park series where we put up our screen in the park, have families, kids come out to the movie for free. So pretty much this summer, consistent with numbers about 20, 30 not families, because that makes it seem more, but 20, 30 people, including families that come out Friday night and enjoy the movie. It goes well every summer, no problem. Next year we're planning on including like some popcorn for sale or giveaway the first movie of the year, so we can let them know we appreciate them for coming out, enjoying the movies. So that's been going well. We partner up with HPC as well to do a movie down at Veterans Park, July 25th, but it was canceled due to weather. So we're making it up September 19th, so we can make sure we hit the south side of Hamtramck as well with a movie there. We also partner up with the Pupil Services this summer with the Family Fun Fair, where the Recreation Department paid for the carnival rides that was there that day in August to make sure the kids get up. Inflatables are okay, give them a little more excitement as far as, the little small carnival rides. So from what I was at the community center with everybody telling me everything went well there for that. Our seniors, we operate senior programs. We do the senior kick fit exercises every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the community center in the morning. So we average between 5 to 10 seniors. Very low impact cardio inside the racquetball court where they work on strength training, movement, flexibility. So they come out consistently for that. We also have programs over at the Senior Plaza where we take recreation to them, to the ones who can't come out or can't make it over to the community center. And we do programs over there as well. So we're trying to make sure we take care of our senior population at our building and meet them where they at the Senior Plaza. We have senior trips. Every year, the Detroit Princes Senior Cruise always pretty much, we set the number at about 45, and we always have a turnout that goes extremely well with that. We got an upcoming trip to the Toledo Zoo. Toledo Zoo have a seniors only day, where pretty much all we have to provide is transportation. The entry into the zoo is free for seniors. So it's an opportunity to let the seniors go to but have the seniors go to Toledo, go to the zoo for free, and it's pretty much geared for them, the seniors. We also going to Turkeyville. That's in Western, going up towards like Kalamazoo area. They love the dinner theater, so we're going to provide that. And then what we do is partner with a company. So we don't take a school bus. We partner up with Travel Treasures, and then they could bring everybody together from different recreation departments, and then take them up there for that. The new exercise class I was telling you about is going to be Moving Groove. That started at the senior program this past, we get end of August. So Moving Groove, pretty much low impact cardio, low impact strength training to get the seniors moving as well. Stop me if you have any questions before I keep rambling on. The family trips, Huckleberry Railroad, Cedar Point, always fill up. The Detroit Princess, Hamtramck staff and teachers and family and friends, that was at 25. Then we went up to Louisville Adventure Center, about 2.5 hours away. They want us to go back and invite some more friends and family because they really enjoyed themselves, but going on the school bus, we had to make a couple stops, in between at the rest area, get some food and things of that nature. No complaints, but it's a long trip on the school bus. But to offset the cost, we can't get a charter, right? Because you didn't have to charge much more money for a charter compared to a school bus. So we're conscious of that. Our summer, we had T-ball for our youth. So we had 9 kids who played in the T-ball program, and they played at PAL. And then the soccer for the summer is 12 that we have currently right now, but spring is up to 60, close to 50 to 60 in the springtime. Summertime is always a little lower in the spring and winter. So we do indoor soccer in the community center in the wintertime, from 9 to 10:30, from January to March. We do indoor.
Indoor soccer. Indoor soccer for kids, or?
Yeah, it's just a clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a clinic that we do in the wintertime, Saturday morning, from 9 to 10:30 for kids ages 5 to 12 inside the community center on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a fee?
Yes, it's so $15 per kid for the
For HPS students or for
community.
in general?
Yeah, recreation is just for the community, so it's whoever want to participate in it, whatever school they go to.
Okay.
Yep. And,
Is it co-ed?
yes. And then what we also do in the springtime, the numbers grow a lot because we have 2 leagues. One is a clinic for the smaller kids, and then another one we participate in the PAL league, a recreation league with PAL. And so we play in the 6th grade division, so that 10, 11, and 12 division where we was the champs again this year in soccer. So we average about 40, 50 total in the spring in the winter compared to the summer. I can't answer why in the summertime it drop off like that compared to the spring, winter and spring. So that's what we average there. Our summer program, the big summer program that we do every year, we almost hit 100 students, 100 kids. We hit 99, and that's an 8-week program from 8:30 to 4. And then we provide breakfast and lunch to the district, food service. We go from ages 5 to 12, and we take them on field trips pretty much every week. No cost. Once you pay the initial cost is $25 for the summer, and then everything else is pretty much included. So no money for field trips, et cetera, and we pay for that. So we always partner with the Hamtramck High School Clinic. This year they did a bike safety training where they come in and talk to the kids about riding the bikes, helmets, et cetera. And they also did a vision screening to the ones whose parents filled out the consent form saying they can be, it can happen. So they came in and checked the vision of the kids who want the parents to allow them to participate. We also, prior to hire mainly high school students to run, or not run, but to lead our summer program. So before the program began, we make sure there's CPR, first aid, EpiPen trained every year. And then a lot of them is their first job, so it's a coaching and learning process for them and us or whatever. But we had a great group this year, and what we don't do is promise them that they can come back the following year, right? So we re-interview, make them wear, have a resume, have them dress up for the interview. We're just trying to for the real world, right? What truly happens when you go out and look for a job. So that's been pretty good in that.
Is the job posted by the Hamtramck Public or Recreation?
We Hamtramck Public Schools posted. Yeah, we posted in the high school as well. And what we do is a job fair, we call it, in the community center. And what we do is we say, hey, you're not dressed appropriately, but we'll make up for them to be able to interview again after they change. Not that same day, but we'll give them an opportunity, right? We understand it's their first job, right? First real interview, interview. So we're not turning them away, but we do, make sure they dress as appropriate as they possibly can. But it's just a teaching thing in that
So
aspect.
they use the same process that any employee of our district use to get hired, right?
No.
No?
They just get a questionnaire of like how you would handle situations with the kids. That was my first job.
Yeah,
I worked there till I was like 21.
Yeah, you were. I wasn't gonna say it. I didn't want to say it.
So they apply to the district or they apply to the recreation?
No,
Right.
they do the and then through the district,
Yeah.
but all the
And you get
private
paid.
work still funneled through
Yeah.
human resource,
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
They get checks and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just wanted to make sure how they apply. If you come as a teacher or pro, you have to go to the website and fill out all the
Oh, yeah.
information.
So
Is it the
great
same
question.
thing?
No, great question. So last year was this last year, but this past season, that was a little difficult. So we're moving forward. We are going to go that way with the kids on the front line and
Okay,
whatever
yeah,
help they
it's front line.
need. Yeah.
So, okay.
Whatever help they need, we'll be there to help guide them to get, make sure they apply, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a great question. This year wasn't the case, but we are going that way with them as well. And we do ask some questions like Ms. Paul said that she was a staff member.
And I always came back.
That's
good. Just saying.
That's a good thing.
We're gonna leave that to someone else. So that's our summer program. Like I said, we almost hit 100, and the food service pretty much took care of us, and the kids pretty much enjoyed it. And it's $25 for the summer, right, for a resident. $150 for non-residents, right? Hamtramck residents paying the millage. This is what their millage dollars going to. Obviously, you get first choice. Then we open up to non-residents, and then we charge them more. And we traditionally 95% are residents with a small percentage. Don't hold me to that number, but the majority are residents, and then 5% pay the $150, right? Because they're not paying into the recreation members. And that $25 pretty much cover everything. Like they don't have to pay for field trips or lunches or anything like that. They just pay for that, and then they're all set for that. So that's our big summer program that went well. The membership residents, we're talking about, this is pretty much talking about the community center and the swimming pool. Obviously, y'all know, the board know that the pool was closed this summer. It'll be closed next summer as well. Yeah. We took not heat, that's being dramatic, but a lot of people was disappointed the fact that they couldn't swim, but obviously in the summertime.
Because of the HVAC, right?
Yeah. So it
And the
was-
tile work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be that way next summer as well, so.
They did most of the HVAC in there this summer. Will they do it next summer as well?
And then they fix their tiles.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but some of the HVAC work goes over the pool, up in the ceiling.
Okay.
So, you wouldn't be able to get into the locker rooms because that's where they were staging the equipment.
Okay.
So it's not, we don't allow staff in.
Is it open now?
Well,
No.
we
So it's not going to be open for 2 summers?
Right,
No.
right.
Oh, man.
No, we can open it up in the fall. We'll get to that part later.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll open in the fall and then in May again have to reclose it for the summer and then reopen it up in the fall. Okay, I'll get to that. Part.
Alright.
So the swimming pool obviously closed for the summer. The community center, when we talk about the community center adults and seniors, that's the people who come in and purchase a swim community center card, right? So we can keep track of everybody who's in that building, right? You come in the building to work out, or you need a card, so that's the people there. Then to purchase a weight room, we gave you a list of how many we had. So 35 people came in between the month of June and August 31st to pay for a monthly membership to work out at the community center. 5 people came in for a yearly in that time frame. It's $100 for the year, right? So you pay the $100 for the year. You have access to come in throughout the year, etc. A lot of people go monthly, whatever reason, is $20 a month. They choose that, and then it's $2 a daily to come in. But what we do is require everybody a membership. It's kind of like going to Costco or Sam's membership, so we can have everything on file to know who's in our building for whatever reason like that.
What's the hours for the green room?
A great question. So I'm going to
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry if I'm
no, that's a great question. So I'm almost there. So then also last thing about that, open gym. We had a lot of kids using the gym this summer playing basketball. Pretty much, we had about 35 kids a day from 12 to 2 coming in. Nothing structured, just kids playing ball with their buddy, having a good time, laughing, well behaved, no issues. And then we'll be back there at 12 o'clock the next day, 12 to 2, keep playing. So we had a great setup. Athletics used it from 8 to 12 for their thing. We came in from 12 to 2 for just any youth who wanted to play. And then from 2 to 4, they had like some volleyball type training conditioning. So it all just meshed well, no issues. It worked out perfectly. So everybody got what they desired for the summer for that. Weight room. So we had the new hours for the weight room beginning September 2nd. It's 8 to 12. And then from 12 to 4 is closed to the public. And then we reopen back from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. So 8 to 12, close to the public from 12 to 4, and then 4 to 10 for that.
Thank you.
All right, picnic tables. Pulaski Park, we needed some new ones bad. So we made sure we took care of that in August. We replaced all the picnic tables over there. 2 weeks ago, took them all out, brought some new ones to make our pavilion shelter look much better. And so that looks much better over there. Finally, outdoor basketball courts. I don't know if you remember or know, like we built those basketball courts in the back there about over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed a redo, and thanks to the HPC, which did their part, we partner up with HPC. They paved the courts. We had the courts repaved. And my department job is to install the new hoops and the benches. So we're still waiting and putting pressure on them to come out to install the hoops, the new hoops, and the benches. So HPC did their part.
Hopefully they get them done before the summer.
Yeah, so we just sent another, I just sent another email like, hey, what's going on? Because when it was ready, the course wasn't done being repaid.
Right.
And then now, the course been repaid for well over 6 weeks now.
Right.
So now the pressure's on like, hey, the weather and what's going on. So HPC did their part, looks good. Now it's time for me to make sure I complete my end of it, to make sure the basketball hoops up there. So we're putting pressure on them again. He sent Matt from St. Clair Recreation, sent out an email today to the contractors like, hey, what's going on? We need to get this finished. So hopefully get done soon.
Is it the same contracts we have in the schools or different?
No, it's different.
It's different, yeah. All right, so fall updates. What we have going on now, the winter brochure, fall, winter. We do our programs fall, winter. So we do one brochure, fall, winter, another brochure, spring, summer. A, to save money, instead of having 4 brochures a year. And B, we plan our programs for our, so what I'm going to send to the board, or give to the board, and I didn't include it in the original thing, and I'll go through it. Just a little quick cheat sheet, right? So this, and I'll go through the program. The cheat sheet is pretty much, when your brochure come in the mail, the programs here are listed in the book, look fancier than this, obviously. But this will give you a cheat sheet on what days, what things started, all the way from now until March. So we know programming from now until March, and then we'll have another brochure come out March, late February, March for the spring, summer. So this will be a little cheat sheet, right? You'll get your brochure in the mail, but this is the board cheat sheet to say, hey, what they're doing on jazz dance or movie in the park or karate or men's basketball or whatever. So I'll get this out to you. Like I talked about the movie in the park with the Hamtramck Parks Conservancy, that's taking place September 19th down at Veterans Park. And the vision of the department for the summer and fall was to hit every corner of the city possible, right? We know Pulaski Park is our hub, right? People gravitate to Pulaski Park into the community center. But let's go down to the south side of Hamtramck. Let's go down to the Senior Plaza. We're partnering up with the police to do the trunk or treat at City Hall. So we're just trying to touch base with recreation, not just at the community center of Pulaski, but hit different areas around the city. For whatever, if people want to come, it's in their neighborhood, and they can feel like they're getting programs served them. So that was a vision that we had as a department, like how can we bring the recreation programs to them in that thing. So hey, let's work with Tom and them, the south side. Let's work with the housing commission and get, the seniors over there. Let's work with the fire chief with trunk or treat in the middle of the city. Pulaski is ours, right? So we already have that. So we were just trying to be strategic to get programs, throughout the city. So our events we have is Fall Harvest. That's on October 4th. Pretty much what we have, apple donuts and cider, pony rides, face painting where the kids come out some inflatables. It's always a big event. Traditionally average about 150, 200 people and families that come out to that between the 10 and 11. What we learned from, real quick, I won't keep it too long, what we learned from is that when we have it, that 10 o'clock in the morning, it let it gradually grow and get bigger compared to everybody, flowing at the same time and have to wait in long lines, right? So, some who's an early riser come a little early. Some who's a little later, they still have that same opportunity to come a little later. So we try to be strategic about how we set the times for different events so it could be a build up to that. So that's taking place there. We have a parent and me dance class for kids and their parents for the smaller age group. We got the open gym starting up Monday for the kids who just want to come in and basketball. We got karate starting September 23rd. We have the men's basketball league that's beginning September 26th. We're doing the Cedar Point Hollow Weekend for the families of Hamtramck. We're going to Blake's Orchard. Then we're going to Huckleberry Railroad in December. And then the pool, right? We asked about the pool. Talked to Bruce, the director of Buildings and Ground. The goal was October. With staffing issues, we didn't want to put it out there that we can open in October. Because at the time we shut down, we had 2 guards, right? So when we laid them off because of, had to get laid off because the pool was closed, one of them went ahead and resigned, and one don't know if he's coming back to supervisor. Citing our pay, what we pay them far as guards. So one went back to the city of Detroit, and then one is still on the fence if he's going to come back, but not the supervisor. So we're in the process of now, I see on the board agenda, the recreation pay scale. So hopefully we can attract that, because everybody, department as far as lifeguards is paying at least minimum $15, $16 a guard, right? You gotta be certified every 2 years, and things of that nature. So I think that will help us attract people or guards who want to come in and work. We're hours wise, we can give them 25 hours a week during the school year, right? Because we can't get them into the pool, rightfully so, until 3:30 when school get out. But in the summertime, that's where they make the most money, because we're opening pretty much 12 p.m. to about 8 or 9 p.m. during the summer, when the summer happens. So that's where we at with the pool situation.
So speaking of lifeguard, speaking of lifeguards, I know I mentioned this a while back. Is there any way we can bump the pay to attract more, people to apply for the job? And is it possible to have, men and women? Because, this community here, and the demographic of it, women would like to swim, but they got, restrictions and stuff like that.
Yep.
So having a woman lifeguard and closed pools just for women would be, very good for the community.
So, no, we,
Go ahead.
great point. So we did that last summer. Not this summer. Last summer we had that. We had 2 female lifeguards who both was college students.
Really?
Yep, that we was able to do a women's only, both of them. But the challenge is once schools start back for them, one went back to U of M, one went back to Eastern Michigan. So we lost, not lost.
Yeah.
But they went back to college.
How long was the program for?
We had it it was in our built-in charge
How
schedule.
was the turnout?
It was 5, 10, 15, and then we cleared everybody out. They went through the women's, and then we had 2 lifeguards in there, 2 women lifeguards. So you need 2 guards in the pool, right, on deck. So we had that, we had it built into the schedule. I don't know exactly what time. I don't want to tell you a story. Yeah, we had that the past summer.
Yeah, see, I'm a board member as well, and I did not know that. I did not know that. I think we should advertise better to attract more people to, to utilize these, to utilize the recreation millage,
Right.
because they're the one that, pay the
Pay.
portion of that.
Yeah.
So I think we should invest in advertising.
No,
Yeah.
right, no problem. So yeah, we did have that this last summer.
Did
So-
anyone here know about it?
Yes,
Oh, you did?
they mail out their,
Yeah, it's in their
they mail out
brochure.
the schedule
Did you?
to every resident who lives in town, yes.
Yeah,
it's in
You
our
just need to
brochure.
read it.
Yeah.
It's in our brochure. And then we posted on social media and Facebook.
I know it
Kind of
said,
about
I know,
fashion.
I read it and I know it says woman, but I did not know of a woman lifeguard.
Yeah, we had 2.
Yeah, we did not, what did that say that in the brochure?
Yeah, it was the women, it was women only, yeah.
Was
Now, I
it,
don't wanna
no,
tell
no,
you-
did it say that
I
there
don't want
was?
to tell you a story on that about a brochure 2 years ago,
Yeah.
a year ago, so I don't want to be wrong and say, hey, you was wrong.
Okay.
But I know we advertised that we have women's only.
I did read that.
And we have women lifeguard. Miss Jackson, I want to make sure, is Miss Jackson still? Did we, I want to make sure I'm not wrong, did we advertise on Facebook about there being women lifeguard?
I think for the ones that only did, yes, but also we did have a session where there were male lifeguards, which was notified, and some women were fine with that, but we didn't have the female lifeguards for that. The ones, when we did, they didn't.
Okay, thank you.
So I just want to make sure, yeah, so we did, so once we, with the board approval of the wages, hopefully we can get women lifeguard, because we've been advertising for that. So that's the goal, we want that.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
we
good.
want that. We've done that, and both of them is college students. So once the fall hit,
I'm gonna keep my eyes on it, just
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah.
That way we can
Yeah.
spread out and, let the community know.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, so we'll do that. And, anything else? We're gonna, one last thing, and I'll be quiet.
I just have one,
Yeah, good.
one thing, if possible. If we can, I know the splash pad at Pulaski, it's great. I mean, awesome. A lot of kids over there. Is there any way to put one here in the south end?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
look at that, but I'm glad you brought that up. So
Yeah.
can we just stick on that real quick? I
Okay,
got
yeah,
my
go ahead.
notes
Go ahead.
straight for it. So with this board, the vision is finally talking to this board, did my research. It's finally having some play apparatuses. So my original vision for the splash pad many years ago had these palm trees and water coming down. The then board told me, get rid of all that because they didn't want to be vandalized. Yeah, true story.
Okay.
I'm not blaming them because
No,
they're not.
true, okay.
Yeah, still got the diagrams. It was palm trees and
Right.
little elephants and everything.
Okay.
So I had to get rid of all that. And then that's why it's just pretty much the pad.
Yeah.
My vision coming to this board is to bring the apparatuses back and ask this board to approve us making that change next year where we can have, it's a small pad, but have some apparatuses, a bucket dumping water on the head, et cetera, et cetera. So,
That'd be great. Maybe we
Okay.
can work with HPC on something
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
You know.
So in regards to the splash pads,
Mhm.
were they vandalized or like?
There's none to vandalize. The
I'm
water
just
comes out
Yeah.
the water
I'm
comes
just,
from the ground.
I'm
just
just saying,
want-
like, was there any sense of damage or whatever it was to these, play apparatuses?
The worst thing we ever had is like kids put stuff in the grates.
Okay.
Yeah, like in the grates, they'll put up the grates, but I mean, nothing that caused significant damage, but that was the worst part of it.
Okay.
Yep, so when I originally proposed, it had little things to it, and then they said no at that time.
Yeah, something here at Playfair would be great.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could look at that with HPC. What we did was recycling water for that, so that pretty much we have to make sure we test it daily. The county has to come out, and then obviously there's no water bill, right, because the water is being, recycled, tested, and we have to have chlorine and things of that nature.
Gotcha.
So some cities go, city water, and some people go recycled water. The recycled water, the thing you just must do is test it, the chemicals, the chlorine, because you don't want an outbreak, right? And everybody coming looking for you for an outbreak. So we've been conscious though. I don't believe in knocking on. We've been, far as that not happening over the last decade, we've been good in that area. So we did go with the recycled water because of that thing. But that you just gotta be a little more conscious, which we've been doing a great job of. The maintenance been doing a great job of testing the water, making sure the pH levels, then the county come out to make sure we're all set with that. So that's been great.
How long does that process take? Like if it's on a daily basis, like an hour or
No,
something?
not that long. You just put it in a little tube, shake it up, and then you see
Oh.
the levels, whatever, yeah. And then
So-
we jot it down, and then when the county come out to check it, or, just do their visitation.
Do they come every day or?
No.
When they
there's
come in
a-
to visit this?
Yeah, this is a surprise visit. They might pop up one random Monday and just say, hey, what's your numbers? Turn it on to see, just to make sure we're in compliance, so, yeah.
But maintenance does it every day?
Yes,
Okay.
correct, yep.
So they're able to, if they have more than one area, they're able to do.
Test it, yep,
Test
correct,
it
yeah,
daily.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So to answer your question, yeah, we can talk to HPC.
Okay. One other question. Well, are you almost done?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm done.
You're done? Okay. Let's get to the fun stuff. Recreation. I've been getting a lot of, emails and messages about how recreation department works and renting our facility.
Okay.
There's been a lot of complaints of noise, parking, etc. And I experienced it myself because I live near the stadium.
Okay.
How does that work? What do we do? When we rent the facility, do we look into all of that? To the
Yeah.
noise ordinance, to the parking? Do we, as far as neighbors and stuff like that? How does that work?
Can you be a little more specific? Like, is it at night or during the day? I mean, I'm trying to understand.
It's like day to night. Sometimes 10 a.m., 10 p.m.
No, what I do is follow the board policy, not policy, but the board approved facility agreement,
Mhm.
as far as what the board approved, and we just go accordingly depending on the event.
Okay. Go ahead.
Do you provide to the people who are renting, like, do they get anything from you, like, in addition to a confirmation of date, time? Like, do they get a set of rules?
Yep.
Like, things
So
like
we-
that?
So they get the board,
So
facility
it's the
use
same
fees.
thing?
Yep,
So it's the same thing okay.
So they gotta do the board facility use, they fill that out, provide liability insurance for the district, make sure the district's not liable for anything that happened. And then what I do as far as the fee schedule, we go on what was approved by the board in 2023 of what we charge them for
Yeah.
using the facility.
But do they have do they get a list of, appropriate, uses? Like, do they get a list of prohibited things that they're not allowed to do?
Yeah, it's listed.
Okay.
I can't say
See,
verbatim,
that's-
it's listed
I
in
don't know what it is.
the.
I don't know that it is
There you
either.
go. Okay. It's listed in the board, not the board, what is it called, the facility,
Contract.
yeah, thank you.
So, I think the board member, so I'll give you an example, so
Okay.
when they rent the facility,
Okay.
they pretty much have power over the park, like who comes in and out, right? Like
Park,
who's able
they
to,
get, they
like,
get,
to the stadium.
there you go, okay.
Are we
So,
only talking about Keyworth, or are we talking
yeah,
about
no, just
something
keyword,
else?
just
Okay.
keyword. So essentially what happens is, where participants or viewers come, they don't let them in. So, and then they're kind of pretty much, they take the parking of the residents, and pretty much whether it's double parking or just regular parking of that sort, and that's where I think the residents are complaining as well. It's like, why are they not letting these participants or
Yeah, I
viewers
heard-
in? They should be, park is big enough for parking, let them in. I think that's kind of like one situation.
Right, so all the parks or all the rentals has not been coming through me this past summer though.
Yep.
So let's just be transparent about that.
Okay.
So some rental happen, like I found out about the August 3rd rental and the 10th rental by the police department. So that wasn't somebody who came in, talked to me, wanted to set it up. So I just want to make it transparent. So whenever anybody comes through me in my department, we make sure we talk to them, this is what you need to do, this is what's going on.
So can the stadium be rent from someone else other than the recreation department?
It's not supposed to.
No, it's not
It's
supposed
not
to.
supposed to, but it's been happening.
So how does that
Yeah,
happen?
how do we fix
And
it?
how do we
So,
fix this? Yeah.
That,
Hold on.
and that was gonna be my.
I authorized
Oh,
those
sorry.
3 rentals because our football coach was running a program, so I authorized those.
So the
And then what we did is we took the gate receipts and it paid for all 3 of the events.
One of the things we're talking about happened on the Sunday, right? One just happened on the Sunday. Well, we have Hamtramck FC out there who came in, used to come in and rent from me as well when you was both.
I know the process.
Yeah, I know you do well. So we had Hamtramck FC who came in, did it the right way, came to us, had everything right.
Right.
We get a call Sunday,
Saying, hey,
we like, I didn't authorize it. What's going on? So then that's where the log jam came in and all that. So all we're asking, if everybody just come through us, we can eliminate those type of problems. So that I'm not gonna take heat for something I didn't do. I didn't know nothing about it. Hamza called me Sunday. Football out there. No, football shouldn't be out here. Well, they out here. Y'all got it. Y'all rented. Y'all did it the right way. Y'all came in, did the insurance, paid the money. We knew nothing about that. So to answer your question, if they come through us, we talk to everybody about what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. Like you know, we used to work with you a lot.
Yes.
You and Mr. Howard, y'all used to come in and that. So these football things that's been taking place, that's not been coming through my office.
I was surprised that day because we never had 2 events in one day.
Exactly.
And especially if it's gonna be big, it's gonna be a lot of, to clear and it was very close. There is no gaps, hours between the 2 events. It was back to
it was
back.
overlapping, yeah.
Yeah, it was over.
I came in and, the park itself was, over capacity.
But I think that if Craig's in charge of the rentals, then no one else
Yes.
should be doing that. It should only go through his office, and he's got a process in place here
That's
where the
that's-
insurance is
Yes.
right and everything's right, and that
Liability,
protects all
I
of
agree.
us.
We
I
agree.
think there was a miscommunication. Our interim superintendent already, authorized it, which is okay, but there was miscommunication. Next time we'll just.
It was on the schedule originally, and then when I got the August schedule, it was on for whatever Sunday was, and then it was canceled.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I was
not,
going on the premise that it was open, and there should have been plenty of time. They were done by 5. The other game started at 6. For some reason, something was scheduled from 4 to 6.
yes, I agree.
After the schedule
I
was out.
agree that we need to, look into our scheduling and, make that more better. But my main concern is, the community is disappointed at HPS and the lack of, working with the neighbors as far as the noise, because we're missing the point. Noise ordinance, the parking, and all of that. Is there any way we can, how much revenue or money does HPS get from other district, renting our facility?
District, so like, our primary renter is Hamtramck FC now, the soccer league. So,
Okay.
yeah, so, I mean, the Hamtramck Hamza and then they group, that's the primary. Then we get smaller other little rentals, but I can't tell, I don't want to tell you off the top of my head what it is, but it's pretty much Hamza, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what that number is, and is it worth it to get that, small percentage to piss off our neighbors?
No.
At the end of the day, they're the taxpayers, and I'm here, sitting in the seat for them. They voted me here, and I'm gonna, speak on their behalf, so.
I just think if we continue to just let everybody come through my department, I would take any heat that rightfully deserved. But when I don't know about events, I can't take heat for stuff I don't know
I agree,
about.
I agree.
So if I'm gonna take heed on something, I wanted to be the one, they sat in my office, I talked to them, they messed up, and I take the heat. Rightfully so. But the one on the 29th, I had no idea.
No, we're not talking
No,
about
I'm
this.
saying in
We're
general.
talking about
Yeah, yeah.
future.
You know what I'm saying? I would take the
If-
heat.
What can we do in the future?
I would talk to them like what we do when somebody come in for a football. I'm not this group, whatever football. Hey, what's your plan? Lay out what's your security. Who is the district maintenance person? Because by your board policy, it need to be a maintenance person working. Who is the maintenance person? I mean, it's our job, but we charge them for that. So the maintenance person. Who is the security? We have a security that's built up in the cost. This is in here that the board approved. So
Right.
this is not a Craig Daniels, this is the board thing. And then once we do, we talk to the rentee. Hey, this is the policy. You gotta have security. We'll have a maintenance worker. So it's the maintenance worker job to clean up afterwards. They get paid for it. Hey, with security, we'll get with Lagarda. Hey, we got an event there from 11 to 7. We need you to make sure everything goes smooth. Take it to them. That's what we do when they come through our office. Hamza, we don't have security because it's a smaller event.
Right, right.
But when we have the bigger events, like
It's
we had a
like-
guy who came in, I don't want to tell you the wrong day, a football guy.
Yeah.
He came in, we had maintenance worker work, we had paid for the guard to come supervise them and made sure everything went well, everything went smooth, because we talked to the rentee when they come in. So I'm just saying, we just keep everybody coming through our office. I think we can eliminate, I'm not saying everything, because things gonna happen regardless, but we can all be on the same page when that happens.
Yeah, if I'm hearing you, I think you got a great procedure in place. It just needs to be, used and implemented.
I just find this
Uh,
what y'all approved.
No, I understand. I
We
just
appreciate it.
wanted to throw this out there,
Okay.
just to be mindful
Mhm.
about the noise ordinance.
Okay.
If they can, music, if we're playing for soccer or anything like that, can they, when it's, dusk, turn that off. That's it. We got kids going to school the next day and stuff like that. Even if it's a Friday, kids still go to school on Saturday, Sunday. My kids go to every school. So we still got to be mindful of that. And we've got senior citizens who live right next door as well, and all of that. And when we do rent the stadium or the facility, is there any way to ask the question, hey, how many fans you think you're gonna get?
We
That
ask
way
that.
we can be mindful for the parking.
We ask
you know?
that.
Yeah.
When they
So-
come through, we ask that. And it's on the contract, it say, how many people do you expect
Yeah.
to have?
If it's something beyond our capacity to put all the people inside our parking, I think it's not worth renting it and getting all that, nonsense and headache from all that. So that's just my thought.
I have no disagreement with you on that.
Any other questions?
I mean, I think we could look at the policy again, or whenever we need to renew or are able to renew it. And, coordinate with the recreation department, see if we can do something where, advertise parking in Memorial, kind of behind the park or something like that. Make it an easier way to enter from that side or something. We can, try to think of something.
How you gonna do all that with all the construction?
That's what I was just gonna say. Thank you for saying it.
He's talking about the future.
Yeah, I'm talking about, this is not
But
just something over.
I want to
That
say
is the
because,
future.
but let me just let you know, like, people park everywhere. It's full, so when it's full, you're gonna park where you're gonna park. That's how it is. That be full, this be full. It's full everywhere, so you're gonna park on the close. The parking lot by Dollar Tree be full. The whole city full. Like,
Yeah, and that
You're
ain't,
not-
that
If
is.
it's
council.
full, I think we should say, hey, we're not renting it out. We're keeping it for our students and community.
I mean,
We
I
don't need
but
to.
at
We
the-
don't- we don't want $500.
Who are doing it, who are renting
Yeah.
it.
What's that?
If it's people from the community who are
People from the
renting it,
community, they walk. I've never seen anyone renting the field here in this community, go over capacity. Have you, Mohammed? I've lived here for 20-some years. I've never experienced that. Anyone in the community.
Well, I know now the cops block off right here. They don't even let you, unless they see your ID and you stay right here,
That's-
they let you go
that's
over.
the-
That's another situation with
Okay.
DCFC.
So
and
you're
that's-
talking about the other people. Well, the police can't be here every time
Well,
if they don't pay for
Not
them.
only that, we should have a police in a capacity of number.
Anything?
We should request a police to be here.
Right, so
because
do that.
Safety
And there you go.
for others and,
Yeah.
So do the same thing as you, DCFC. Block off. You can't come park.
We should have
That's-
a requirement to have a police.
But again, I think that
Above a
comes back
certain
to
threshold.
Yes.
policy
Attendees.
and, something that we have to fix, and I think he will implement.
And I agree with Craig that, anything goes to these parks, it has to go to, even if it comes from a superintendent, we should direct him to our directors, so that we don't have this confusion and not communication.
Let me
Right.
be transparent real quick.
Yeah.
We never monitor parking, so I'm gonna act like when they come through me, we say X amount of Z about parking. What we do conscious about noise, how many people, having security, having the maintenance work. I don't want to tell you that we ever said, and we'll say if, how many people is a small parking lot, but we never said, I mean, you gotta get in where you fit in pretty much. We never said anything like that, so I just want to be transparent about that.
Now, if we know how much cars you can be in there, because fire hazard, you can't have a lot. If something happened, the truck won't be able to go.
Right.
So we have to have number of parking. After that, you have to be closed. You
Yeah.
cannot let people in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
No.
all the rules that we need to add it to the contracts.
Correct.
For
Yeah.
the
And we can
renters.
always use Playfair for parking as well,
Mhm.
just like DCFC.
Yeah.
We can do that too, to avoid, people parking in a residence.
So what we could do if that happens again, if we get a large rental, what we could do is have the security and maintenance staff
Yes.
show them, where this at. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Craig,
Perfect.
I want to ask this, because
Okay.
this, just experience from other districts. Where does the revenue go?
To the district.
To the district or to the recreation?
Does it go to
fund?
recreation, district, or athletics?
No.
Because I think there's,
So
No.
it goes to the general fund?
Yeah, we give it
Okay.
to Cindy. So what we do is just, pretty much, we just the people who they come renting for.
Okay.
Follow policy, get the insurance, get the contract, and once we collect the money, not every day,
Right.
but the month, we bring it
Okay.
over to Cindy, and it's that. So what we do is not charge, but the maintenance person is paid from the general fund because they're being paid, the money's going to the district for the rental.
okay.
Yeah, so all money that comes for Keyword Stadium goes to the district, and we bring it over to
Send it.
central office here to the.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Okay, well,
No,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right,
Appreciate
thank you.
you.
I'm gonna give you my quick the little guide. If you could just pass it down for me.
Hey, Craig, do you want to stick around for resolution number 3 in case there's
Y'all want
questions?
to stick around?
Can I
Yeah,
get that, Craig,
please.
real quick?
Which one?
A sheet for the board fees,
Oh, you want that?
if you don't mind?
Yeah, you can have it.
And I can take picture and
Now, it don't have all the rules and stuff.
No, it's okay, I just want to see the fees and stuff.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
so you can have that. It don't have all the rules and
Number
sections.
2.
All right, thanks, Craig. Thank you so much for all this information. Next up, we got HPC, Thomas Babbitt. Come on up.
Oh, we have extra copies. I'll save enough, okay. Here we go.
Evening.
Good evening.
I have a presentation. Is that able to be queued up?
Yes, absolutely.
The keyboard and mouse right here.
Didn't even know what's up there.
Is this your presentation or is it? That's not, no.
I like the read.
Thanks. You'll have to coach me through this thing too. Sounds like it's on right now.
It's on.
Okay.
If it is red, it's on.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. My goal tonight was to reintroduce everyone to the Parks Conservancy, and also to appeal for some greater collaboration. We are connected with the school district, we are a resource for the school district, and we have a lot of great opportunity to work together and to advance recreation, open space, and our whole park system in town. So I want to give at least a chance to read about a little bit of the background. We've got just a lot of new faces. I mean, since the Conservancy started 5 years ago, I've been in this role now 2 years. And just as a quick recap, we are a partnership of the city and the district. We have a board that Jim and Alvin Locke are a part of. And we really started out as something that was seeded by a number of foundations who got the civic leaders together and said, we need a plan to bridge the gaps that we have in town between the kind of two separate groups that are working on parks in town, between the city and the school district. And they set us up with a plan, which is a really long plan that we continue to follow. It's fully available on our website. And that is to concentrate on the development of the areas around the two stadiums, baseball and Keyworth. And to develop that whole area, redevelop it as the Hamtramck Recreation District, the premier destination, something that we can really, use to become a destination, regionally, but more importantly to, support our community better. And to come out of, a period where we've had, fewer resources to be able to maintain the parks and do that in a more, holistic, comprehensive, and partnered way. So we are an independent 501c3, and since I've been on board, we've really been kind of building out the organization now with staff in greater capacities, and we're poised to continue to manage the projects that are ongoing, but to begin to expand what it is that we're doing. So as I mentioned, our goal is to really add resources to this community, position the park system as an asset for the entire community, even though we're starting down in the south end, really at Veterans Park and in the recreation district, ultimately to be a voice to promote and advocate for the parks and open space across the whole city, and to maximize the potential that Keyworth and historic Hamtramck Stadium have for our entire community. And there's our mission statement on the right. So here's a brief overview of kind of what we've been up to most recently. We are managing historic Hamtramck Stadium on behalf of the city, so we're helping now to manage the grants that have been in place for a number of years. You've seen all the improvements that are going on over there. We're investing several millions of dollars into it. It's continuing to attract a lot of positive attention, visitors to the city, and it's great that we're seeing the baseball activity come back among Hamtramck school ball players. And then we keep it open for free usage when it's not booked with baseball. There's a lot of soccer and picnics and everything else that goes on in there. We are making capital improvements within the recreation district using money that's been raised. So the basketball courts, as Mr. Daniels mentioned, are an example of that. And we've done a number of other things within Veterans Park. I don't have time to enumerate all of them. We are now managing the rentals of the park's facilities for the city. So after the conversation about how that's going here in the district, we're doing that for Veterans Park, for Sarah Garrett Park, the smaller pocket parks, which frankly nobody really rents on any regular basis. So it's the pavilions at Veterans Park. The main thing is the rentals of Hamtramck Stadium. So all the baseball tournaments that come through there, we're managing that. And then, as I mentioned, to really just promote the system. So we are building our social media accounts. We need partnership to be able to do that. So I think we're working really well, especially with the rec department, to share each other's activities, partner wherever it's possible. What we are not is a management organization of the parks. We are not running sports leagues. We are not taking over daily maintenance of any of the parks. We're helping to supplement that. And we're here to partner, we're here to bridge gaps, and that's what we're set up to do currently. Could that change in the future? It would just depend on what the groups who are involved with managing these spaces would like to do going forward. But I think what we are positioned to do is to raise money for the parks, make investments, do long-range planning, and bring the stakeholders together. So that's what we're about, and like I said, we've got huge opportunities. Some of the current collaboration with the district right now, there's others that are not on here, but the basketball courts I think turned out really nicely. They're in the top left corner. We're partnering on as many programs as we can. As Mr. Daniels mentioned, it's a great opportunity for them, I think, to bring the great program that they have to the south end, and then in turn, we try to come out and have a table or bring an activity to something like the Snowfest. We're going to be a trunk or treat, all that kind of stuff. Just more collaboration and partnership, the better. Activities over at Playfair, doing like a Frisbee event over there. We're just dipping our toe in the water with some of that programming. What we want to do with programming is supplement what hasn't been taking place, like at the city parks. Because what the district sponsors is primarily, in the district locations. I know there's some effort to take it to parts of town, as was mentioned earlier, but we want to, try to cover the gamut. Bottom left is the tennis team. We are really glad that the high school takes advantage of the facilities, at Veterans Park to play baseball or play tennis for the, the high school teams. We are committed to hosting that and making improvements so that can continue to be the case. So we've set aside dollars and we're trying to raise more dollars right now to make improvements to the tennis courts. The city council approved an RFP to go ahead and redevelop the courts to bring back the original number of courts, which was 6 over there, which is what we need to be able to host a varsity match. So right now there's only 3 courts that are functional, and we want to bring that back to 6. The other current collaboration is to start to work on the improvement plan that has been, part of that HRD district's vision, for the Keyworth and Playfair area. This is a modular restroom installation that, responds to the community needs. The fact that we don't have permanent restrooms, anywhere in the rec district, so we're going to have them at on the veteran side with the completion of the construction at the stadium. So the buildings underneath there are going to have permanent restrooms. So we haven't had them, open to the public except for if you want to come into this building. So we raised $250,000, and the vision that we put in there was we kind of use like a shipping container style. I guess it kind of fits with the shipping containers that have been out there for DCSC and others. We raised this money about a year ago, last fall, and we are teed up and ready to go, but we have not been able to break ground on it because we're waiting for official approval from the district. So we are, ready to go ahead with this. We've done some work, meeting with the team from the district on the logistics of construction and looking at the utility requirements and things like that. So the idea here is to not put any maintenance requirement or long-term kind of asset responsibility onto the district, but we do want to explore the ways that we can collaborate so that for example the district has certain assets like a staff that's actually there on a daily basis, because we don't have that. That's the best way to run something like this once it's installed. So that's the nature of the, I think the contract that has been put in front of us to sign, and we are all ready to move on that. The future collaboration is the redevelopment of the area, outside the windows here. And this is an update to the original concept that was developed in 2020, kind of before my time. But the recognition that we've got a baseball field out there that's obsolete now, and we have a real opportunity to partner together to basically totally redo the athletic fields out there. This particular portion of it is really a nice connector feature between Veterans Park and the Playfair area. So let me skip forward to the full vision, and I want to come back. So this is the updated plan that we worked through after the initial sort of adoption of the HRD plan in 2020. Last summer, we kind of went back and said, let's relook at the aspects that we want to raise money for next, and that's resulted in 2 projects. So one is the redoing all these athletic fields. The other is that Green Alley project, which is a walking and biking path that connects the 2 parks. So this is a multi-year plan. This is multi-millions of dollars. We did get some updated cost estimates on it. That was one of the things that we wanted to get out of the refresh planning that went along with this. It's going to take aggravation not only in raising the money, but also in construction for a number of years. But I really invite the partnership to continue to refine this vision, knowing that we're just not taking advantage collectively of the opportunity of this open space out there with the old baseball field, knowing just how much demand there is for soccer in the community. So this reflects being able to have a new full-size field out there that would be a flexible type of field where you could also do a football practice field. You could divide it up into smaller fields for U12 soccer to run the opposite length, potentially to expand the basketball courts. Basically to bring like the really active portion of recreation into this area, and then veterans kind of becomes more of the passive recreation area. At the bottom left is another project that actually we already own. It's a outdoor fitness court, so one of those kind of like outdoor aerobic platforms that you've seen in parks around the area. We actually own that now, and we're just in the process of finalizing the funding to be able to install it, and that could go right in that area along the railroad track and next to Keyworth. And I've heard from a number of folks locally that, you know, we just don't have enough, you know, workout, aerobic, you know, type of, you know, facilities in the area. And so I think it's gonna be really popular. So, you know, this is high level concept, but this is what I invite, you know, everyone's partnership in. Of course, it's, you know, I mean, this is a highly, you know, I'll say like contested area because there's just so much demand on it, you know, for all the school teams, but, you know, it also doubles, you know, kind of as a public park. And so it really needs to be done right, but I mean, this, I hope it gets people excited, you know, for the possibility of like bringing this many different new athletic facilities, you know, into this little triangle of an area. I think it would just be, you know, a fantastic ad and just be busy, you know, all day, every day, you know, kind of thing. And I think it's what the community deserves, and this is what we want to try to, you know, push forward if everyone's rowing in the same direction. And so that kind of completes the presentation. If there's time for any questions, I'd certainly invite them. And after this, I just have like a photo gallery of some things that we've been up to recently.
What's your timeline on this?
There is no timeline for these major improvements.
So is it just
so
based on fundraising?
It's based on fundraising.
Gotcha.
So the funders that set up HPC are the same ones that we should have confidence in if we are all rowing in the same direction, that they would want to fund this. And so I'm
As
really,
long as we can get as long as we can come together and, yeah.
I think that's what we need to show, and then we've
Yep.
got a real high
Agreed.
potential of implementing something like this.
I have a question about the hockey rink.
What's the blue? Like, that's in by the playground update and is it, that's just stormwater drainage?
Stormwater guidance,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so up there was, you know, the recognition that the playground is really popular and we want to keep that in that
Right.
area. But, you know, if it were to get refreshed or expanded or something, that could happen in conjunction with some more green space. You know, there's a lot of hardscape that would be introduced, and especially if that soccer field is like AstroTurf potentially, you know, drainage is going to become a big issue in that
Right.
area. And that would also be a nice buffer with the homes on Jacob Street. That could be an area for a skate park, not to get too much into the weeds. I mean, skating's popular, it's kind of been happening at Veterans Park. That was discussed in the development of the planning of this, was like, you know, would that be a good area maybe for that too? And you kind of buffer it, you know, with some of those green elements. But, you know, there's pros and cons that come with installing that. I mean, you know, if this is one of the areas where, you know, a new splash pad could be, I mean, we could certainly, you know, look at that. You really got to look at all the adjacencies. So I think the designers did a good job with this, like, you know, looking at, you know, fitness court, you know, belongs, it's good, it's, you know, not something that's designed to be like next to kids all the time. So, you know, put that close to the railroad track, for example, have some buffers, you know, those type of questions about how this emerges.
The potential hockey rink, is it ice hockey, is it road hockey? In the
That-
past, I know it was ice hockey.
Yeah, that actually was conceptualized as
Right.
relocating the soccer arena, which was hockey, and we just move over there with the idea of kind of consolidating all the real active areas, and then in veterans, that could become something else.
Okay.
Some people have come up to me and said, we gotta bring hockey back. The old timers, I guess.
I've
who-
heard
Who
that too.
remember it, I mean, it was very popular
Yeah.
in the day.
Yeah, and
And-
we definitely had ice.
Yeah,
And I guess we had the machinery to maintain the ice.
that's expensive and
It
difficult,
is.
but there's also ways to do like a synthetic surface that you can skate on now, so
Okay.
maybe there's ways to do it
Yeah.
a little bit cheaper. Yeah.
Is the mouse not working?
No. Maybe it got out of range.
There you
Oh,
go.
there it is.
Let's just list our board members. And the gallery, so the top there is a vision of the plaza that's gonna be kind of like a welcoming area outside of Hamtramck Stadium. And the top right is our Juneteenth event, which we're able to award a number of scholarships, including one to an HBS graduate last year. And we've installed a pollinator garden on the right-hand side at Veterans Park. We're a big advocate of the tree program, and the initial planting of 1,000 trees has been in Veterans. We dedicated a patio next to the Yemen Cafe. It's the picture in the middle. We've redone the tennis wall, practice wall. there on the left. Michigan State University came out and did a baseball practice there on the left-hand side. We've got new message boards, bottom left-hand corner, to keep everybody up to date. Tennis plaque is the next one on the bottom row, dedicating the tennis courts to Jerry and Jean Hoxie. We've made some pretty big improvements to the Veterans Memorial and the Colonel Hamtramck gravesite right off of Campo there, including with all the stonework, but then also brand new landscaping. The city just hasn't been doing tree maintenance, landscaping, beautification, any of that kind of stuff recently because of resource constraints. So we're kind of picking up the slack on that. Bottom right was the book reading with the two young ladies from the district who authored a book. So we had them out, and that was nice. So it's the kind of stuff we're up to.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to action items, resolution number 2. We got to appoint MASB delegates. Before we put this motion, we need to pick 2 people to be able to go to MASB to vote on our behalf. I'm willing to go if someone wants to be the alternate.
I'll do it.
Okay. So Elgahim and Elgahim. All right, can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall, second by Ms. Watson. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby appoint President Elgahim as a delegate to the Michigan Association of School Board Delegate Assembly and Trustee Elgahim as an alternate to the School Board Delegate Assembly. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Approval of Recreation Department salary schedule. Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Obed, I heard. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the Recreation Department salary schedule as submitted. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Resolution number 4, approval of out-of-state conference.
I'll motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Elgahim. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the request of Tyrone Weeks to attend the NABSE conference to be held in Chicago, Illinois, December 10th through the 14th of 2025. Payment for conference through general fund. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Resolution number 5, approval of Bengal course edition for Hamtramck High School.
I'll motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall, I'll second that. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the addition of Bengal classes to the high school class schedule and curriculum. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. All right, resolution number 6, approval of K-5 math curriculum.
I'll motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Obey. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the purchase of the real math curriculum for grades K through 5 to less than an amount of $216,391.12 for the 3-year subscription to be paid as followed and stated here. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. All right, consent agenda, approval of consent agenda items, can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall, second by Mr. Obey. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the following items under the consent agenda, A through P. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Audience participation. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any questions or comments to the board. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. The presiding officer will refer questions to the superintendent for research and response. Person wishing to address the Board of Education must complete the audience participation form and submit it to the board president before the meeting starts. Form must be filled out completely to be accepted. Joanne, can you call the names, please?
I have 3, Mr. Abraham Muzid.
All right, you got 3 minutes. As soon as you start talking.
automatic or do I gotta hit?
Is it, is working?
You get Santa.
So the reason I'm here is because of special education classrooms at Dickinson East. So they're located in the basement, but there is no bathrooms in the basement. So the kids have to travel up to the first floor to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is shared amongst I believe that whole wing of the school. So my daughter and other kids that have compromised immune systems tend to get sick very quickly. So she went to school last week, but this whole week she's been out because she's been sick. And, whoever decided to put those classrooms in the basement did not really think it through. So I'm here to ask, can we have some bathrooms for the kids downstairs? Because another thing is, they eat their lunch in the classroom. So when do they wash their hands? When they gotta go to the first floor, so they gotta go up 2 staircases to the first floor, to the restroom, either before or after they eat. I mean, preferably, if they make a mess, how are you gonna get them cleaned up? They should at least have a sink in their classroom. But they need bathrooms in the lower, if you're gonna keep them in the lower level, I'm not gonna refer to it as basement, I'll refer to it as lower level. If you guys are gonna keep them in the lower level, at least get them some bathrooms. That's one of my requests. Second one is the sensory room. They need more items for the sensory room. So I haven't been to a lot of school board meetings. And I've seen you guys improve, so I'm not gonna bust you guys' chops about anything. But we need more, I've been watching these meetings. I don't see a lot of people advocating for special needs. So we talked about the pools, we talked about recreational, but what's in there that's inclusive for the kids that have special needs? We don't have anything. What do we have? 2 swings at Pulaski Park, and then the pools. Okay, but you don't have anything that targets kids with special needs or disabilities. I mean, if I look at, and I've already tried registering my daughter to be part of recreational, there's nothing in there, nothing. So I hear you guys always advocating for all other kids. What about these special needs kids? I already requested every second Wednesday for me to leave work 2 hours early, because I'm gonna be coming here for the next year because I need to see something, some improvement. And unfortunately, the old school board only did actionable, they didn't do anything until there was a complaint to the state or the federal or the government, or if I kept coming back to these meetings. So I want to make sure that we get something done. And then the playground. What are they supposed to play with? There's no swings, there's no slides, there's nothing for them. Plus, you expect them to sit inside the school all day. They eat their lunch by themselves in the classroom. Then they gotta go upstairs to wash their hands, and then they go back into the classroom where they don't have anything, or they don't have anything that they can use in the sensory room. So they're lacking a lot of things. We just can't keep giving them the bare minimum just to kind of get that checkbox.
All right, thank you.
Next school board meeting, I'll be back.
I got the superintendent to answer one of your
If
questions.
it's a funding problem, just.
No,
No,
hold
he's
on.
gonna answer you, hold on.
Yeah. On the sensory room, we had that planned last December. We had layout, everything, equipment. Problem is, then we had to do HVAC, the window projects in there, so we delayed it until this year. So we had to wait until construction's done, and then we're going to outfit the sensory room.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if it's an issue, so, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
Appreciate you answering that for me today. So when it comes to bathrooms, if it's a financial issue, let the community know. You could probably do something to get the funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next up,
Mr. Casa?
I'm confused. I thought this morning was Hamtramck next to the gym. They're next to the gym.
No,
They gone?
they're on the other side.
Of,
The other,
gym?
the other one, it's the other one.
Oh, okay, they're over there.
Yeah.
Good evening.
good evening.
One concern and one question. I'm gonna go to the sweet spot, not wasting your time. First, we emailed the school board. We emailed the Hamtramck city and Hamtramck officials about the Keyworth Stadium issues that we've been experiencing forever, actually for the last 3 years. But within this certain time of the year with the constructions, it came to that point that it's suffocating almost 84 houses around the area, which is, yeah. So we need to have a better planning for the parking spots, the noise, and the smoke bombs that are used in the stadium. Because we have kids around the blocks having asthma, and 2 kids ended up in the hospital because of that last month. And we have documentations, we have videos and pictures of evidence of the violations that have been happening here around this stadium. And we are asking for cooperation from you guys before this season ends, so we can start smoothly next season. Otherwise, it's going to be escalated, and all the neighbors signed in to have some lawyers to represent them and escalate the issue. That's the issue number 1. The issue number 2, Dickinson East. The curriculum has been changed from taking off the Arabic language from the curriculum and exchange it with the music. The question is, did that go through the proper channels and the proper procedures to get that done? Or is it the school officials just went through and changed it regardless of most of, like, 690 families wanted that Arabic language to be in the curriculum?
We'll look into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leon. Appreciate it.
Next.
Jody Porl.
Getting me off the cuff tonight. You might not like that. I would like the board to reinstitute audience participation before you vote on anything. People have a right to share their concerns with you before you vote, because what you're not getting is you're not getting the full picture on some things. For example, the Bangla class. The Bangla class happened actually last year without your approval. It was taught without school board approval against school board policy. It had no curriculum last year, and the teacher was uncertified, remains uncertified. Had you had audience participation beforehand, I would have told you that. You should get the full story about anything that anybody wants to share with you before you vote on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there any more business to conduct?
Yeah, can I?
Go ahead.
Just
Go ahead.
2 things.
Yes.
So we, well, I'll try to remember everybody that was there. Principal Strader, Principal Aveze, the counselors Hill, Russo, Assistant Principal Dance, and Heather Kuhneman, and myself went and visited Detroit Public Schools. We went to the Randolph Career Tech Center and to the Bright Hupp Career Technical Center, and we wanted to provide our students with opportunities to get skilled trades training. And this is, I mean, they can do, I mean, I sent you some of the information. You know, they become electricians, plumbers, drywallers, all construction. They can take culinary, cosmetology, and other courses. You know, we had a grant, a 5-year grant that ran out that provided just a small sampling of these classes. Now with an agreement, we have all the options available. What is the really great thing about this is when they participate in this, Detroit Public has partners in the construction industry. They have all the union trades places where most of these kids are offered jobs out of high school, and some they do co-op while they're in high school. So I think it's a great opportunity for students that, not everybody wants to go to college. People want to, even if you go, you get skills on being an electrician. I mean, you could wire your house, whatever. But I think it's a great opportunity for our students. The high school is going to start pushing this more. Pushing is probably not a good way of saying it, but making the opportunity more well-known. This year it's probably limited because it is a full-year program. Our kids go, they arrive there at 8:15, they leave at, I think it's 11:15, 11:30, they come back for lunch, and then they go to their 4th-hour class. So we'll probably be looking at that more next year. I think last year we had, 8 to 10 students. I anticipate that now having all the opportunities, this will go up significantly. I think it's a great partnership. And when we were there, they offered for the board to come look at their facility. It's something that as a district, we cannot provide this because, it's a multi-million-dollar facility. We
Just staffing it, I'm sure.
staffing it and just providing, the programming, there's no way the district could do it. First of all, we wouldn't have space. So I think this provides our students a great opportunity, it's our families. The other thing is we did have Senator Stephanie Chang in here on Monday. We talked to her. I love it because we authorized the letter at the last board meeting. She called, she said, hey, I want to come talk to you. And we had the ML department, we had curriculum, we had grants, and we talked about funding. Of course, we still do not have funding for this year, so we don't know what our school aid bill is. Sort of puts us at a disadvantage. We're not really sure if we're getting Section 41. The House version basically does away with categorical funding and just makes it one big lump sum, which as a district could become troublesome because we get a lot of grants. And we get a lot of grants because of our student base, our population. If they went to a, let's say, gave everybody $12,000, the district could not survive on $12,000. We receive much more. This past year, we've spent countless hours looking at staffing, looking at grants, how to utilize those grants better. One of the things that we're doing this year, I think I put in a board update, is we're looking at lowering class sizes. That's one of the things that we talked to the senator about. We said we would love to lower our class sizes, but we have no classes. So, we're looking at co-teaching models at 2nd and 3rd grade, putting reading specialists in to work with the 2nd grade, then go to the 3rd grade in the afternoon. So, we just, I think it was great that she came and listened. She asked, for input, and I hope to create a partnership with her. Hopefully we'll get a school aid bill before September 30th or the state shuts down. So, thank you.
All right.
So, Jim, what happens if this categorical funding is eliminated? What happens to us, budget-wise?
Yeah, what's your contingency plan? Is there one?
Well, so it's the House that wants to create just basically
Right, it's a bucket.
funding. Yeah.
Here's your bucket. You do with it what you want. And they're selling that as if it's a really good thing.
No, I think it's a terrible thing. I
No,
mean, it
that's
does
what I'm
remove
saying,
strings.
right,
But if we were to get the same, all the categorical funding, that would be fine. But I don't think they're gonna look at our ML students and say, you have 2,000 ML students, we're giving you $1.5 million in Section 41 at risk. Oh, you have this big population of at-risk students, we're giving you $4 million. those are the things I'm afraid will go away, and then it'll become a, one size fits all type thing, and that would be terrible for the district.
Well, what will happen to us if that happens?
Well, I don't even want to go there yet, because the Senate and the governor are on the opposite side. I don't anticipate that the House version will go through. I would anticipate if it hit the governor's desk, she'd veto it. I would hope she would. Right now, the House and Senate should be meeting in a joint committee. They're not. It's just sort of a stalemate at this point. But I guess you have 2 against 1 in a way. So, then it comes also with our federal grant funding. Our federal grant funding will remain the same as last year because it was already put into the budget. It would be the following year that there might be some issues. We're also, Title III, Immigrant and English Language are some of those would be the 2 areas that could be hit in the future because they are for ML students, and there seems to be a push against immigrant students in ML.
All right, before we adjourn, I also got another question, or not, if you can give us an update on the food service. Have there been any feedbacks coming back to you from staff or students, and how is the breakfast going so far?
Yeah, actually, we had a meeting today. We had our first monthly meeting, and it's been a challenge. I've been out to the buildings, and I think if I don't know if you've been out to the buildings. I mean, some of the buildings have this just really dialed in. ECE, I went there and they have all the tables out, and they have breakfast at every spot. They have staff that will come in, 10 minutes early, help. The Tau Beta was, the students come in, they line up. As far as I've heard, the students like it. They get there early. I see they, at 7:55, they line up. They're in their class by 8 and ready to, learn instead of spending that time having their breakfast. Our health and safety committee that meets quarterly, one of the issues has always been, the kids eat in the classroom. If they have syrup, it gets on their, table. It's like Mr. Mazib said, you can't, what are you going to do? Take everybody out to the bathroom? Cindy's here, and I'm sure she can vouch for having to clean the table, the desks, and everything. So that's good. Lunch is a little bit more of a challenge. At the high school, they haven't really started up the deli line or the salad bar. It's just we got food service in a little bit late, so they're really running, trying to get that going. Some of the interesting things, I had feedback on some of the meals that they're trying to introduce new things. So they, I had some comments that they had frozen corn. Well, they didn't have frozen corn. It was a corn salad that's meant to be served cold. So, then broccoli. The broccoli wasn't cooked. Well, it was raw broccoli meant to be in a ranch dip. So, and we said, hey, we met today. They said corn's out. We won't serve that. They're trying to adapt the menus right now. And what they said is, we want to meet with the student councils. We want to meet with the students. We want to get input. So I would say it's a work in progress. But if you look at the numbers are the same as last year, or very close to what they were last year. Again, I think it's just working through that, and they want to get the chef in there. They want to do like exhibits, like at lunch they'll have the chef cook, and they'll say here's maybe they should introduce the corn salad through the chef and say hey, it's meant to be served cold. It's just new things for people, and they're just not used to that. So it will take some time. So, but I'm encouraged.
Good, thank you.
Oh, and I've asked them if they can come November to present to the board, because by that time, we would be about 3 months in. You know, they have a 30, 60, 90-day plan, that by that time, they should be close to their 90-day plan.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm assuming the restrooms at the high schools are complete?
They are complete.
Oh,
They look great.
awesome.
Yep.
Any
A lot of
feedback
great
from the kids?
feedback from the high schools.
Yeah.
Do you?
Good, yeah.
Got some nephews over there, they said, you know, looks amazing.
Yeah, now we have to.
They said they gotta go to the other side.
Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, why don't you do the other side? I'm like, hey, man, look, a lot of money, you know, baby steps, so.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's good to hear some positive feedback.
Yeah, it is. It's
Somewhat
good.
from the kids, you know, so.
I think any feedback that's positive from kids is a good thing.
That's exactly.
All right, any more business to conduct? All right, regular meeting adjourned at